Alright, so I'm at one of the hardest world bosses to solo in the main zone for the High Elves and All-Merit Dominion. I'm going to show you my gear real quick. Hunting's Rage, craftable set, and that's what it does. My monster helm, because I'm a warden, my abilities are earth healing, like nature healing, pets and whatnot, nature pets, and ice. I have this two-piece monster helm, spell critical, and when you deal critical damage, you get a damage shield. It also deals damage around you. Very cool, very good for survivability. Then Unfathomable Darkness. Now, like I said, lots of pets. So with this, I'm using this set. Gives me weapon critical, physical penetration, which is good. You want penetration on in this game. Penetration is important. But then when I deal damage, 10% chance to summon a Murder of Crows around me for 12 seconds. Every 3 seconds, a crow will be sent to peck the closest enemy, dealing 5,791 physical damage. So, proc set. This is a non-proc set. I'm going to go ahead and charge that now as well. And that, because it's definitely going to wear out during this fight. And this is my character's stats. You see I've got 31k stamina, 16k health. This is not maxed out either. Then I've got 29 weapon damage, 47.5% critical chance. Then I've got some resistances there. Now, on my abilities, our main bar, this major evasion reduces damage from area of attack effects. It also deals damage. This heals me using stamina. This, while slotted, gain minor berserk. Again, this is that like slime craw. Like I said, not every class has access to this within their toolkit. You'll have to go to certain sets or rely on a healer to supply it. But if I use this ability, I get 20% or 30%. Movement speed is increased by 30%, and my stamina recovery is increased by 20%, which is pretty good. Makes me a little more mobile, a little more agile. Then I've got Blood Craze, so I attack, deals bleed damage. It does initial damage, but it also does bleed damage over 9 seconds, and I heal. So again, you'll see that there's survivability there. This is one of the Warden abilities. Applies major fracture, reducing their enemy's physical resistance by 5,280 for 5 seconds, which is pretty good. You're basically setting this off after every heavy attack or light attack. It also deals 13,509 damage after poison damage after 3 seconds. So you do have to put this down and mix it in with your rotation. The ultimate is on both bars. It has to be in order for it to run. This is the Grizzly Bear. This is the Morph Wild Guardian. This is what you're going to most likely be using if you're stamina. Now, back bar. I have a Magicka ability, a Magicka damage over time ability, Unleash Swarm. This is also a Warden ability. So it sends Fetcher Flies, and when the effect ends, it spreads to other enemies nearby. Then there's this, launch a multitude of arrows. This is pretty standard on a DPS back bar. On your bow bar, you are most likely going to be putting this down. It's pretty cool. You'll see. This allows me to regenerate stamina and increases. It also adds major sorcery and major brutality, increasing spell and weapon damage by 20%. So it's important to put this on. This is a buff. Keep it up. It costs nothing and lasts 27 seconds. You'll see that this you'll probably get that this is similar to the Repentance ability that Templars have. Sorry. Then we've got Green Lotus. This increases, adds major savagery, which increases my weapon critical by roughly 10% for 20 seconds. So again, it's a buff, but light attacks restore 1346 health. Heavy attacks restore 4,039 health to me or nearby allies. Very cool. And then this, Ice Fortress, gain minor protection, reducing damage taken by 8% for 24 seconds, and also increases physical and spell resistance by 5,280. I'm going to show you what the bear looks like when you summon it. Very cool. I have a skin for this bear that you get for purchasing the Morrowind Collector's Edition. Yours will be brown. Brown is still cool, but I've got gray. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to buff with this bar first. We're going to move in, lay that down, get my bear to attack, and continue buffing. You'll see that there's a swarm of crows coming around now. So anytime I deal damage, there's a good chance it's going to be critical damage. And anytime I deal damage, there's a good chance it's going to conjure my swarm of crows. And there we go. One of the hardest world bosses in this zone. The other most difficult world boss is in this place right here. Soulfire Plateau. It's actually 3 bosses. And they're all necromancers, and they all summon undead. There's another boss over here, I believe, somewhere. There's some bosses and whatnot around the coast here. Around this coast here that I haven't gotten to. Right along this way. I believe there's one here actually as well, or possibly up this way. I don't really, maybe over here. I don't really play this zone that much, but I'm working on leveling this character's skill points. You see I have no skill points left up there, but I've got pretty much everything I need. My dual wield is maxed out, my bow has the skills that I need. Then I've got my companion stuff, my animal companion, screen balance, and Winter's Embrace. A lot of really cool abilities in here. You definitely want to give them a try, but if you're sticking with stamina, or if you're going to go with stamina, you're going to stick with mostly animal companions, and you're going to make sure that you go with stamina morphs for things. And then if I were to get up my Undaunted, you'll see that here there's a bonus for 2% of max health, or restore it of max health, stamina, and magicka, and then also increase max health, stamina, and magicka by every armor by 1%. It becomes 2% for every armor type that I'm wearing. So you want to have at least one of each, and you'll get a nice boost to your health and everything like that. Then as you get things like champion points, every your first 100, then I believe 200, and then 300, you'll get more health and stamina just for having it. So that is how powerful this character is. I honestly can't believe how powerful it is. If I had more sets on here, if I was using another set that's specific to, so if I got rid of, let's say, my Hunding's Rage, which is doable, and I put on another set that increases the amount of damage I do to dungeon and trial bosses, this build would be incredible. It'd be incredible, but it would mean that I lower my damage just a tiny bit, which I don't really want to do. So yeah, that's the Warden, and this is what my Warden looks like. I think he looks absolutely fucking cool. I've got some fucking bone daggers here. I've got, this like blue tattoo coming off my body, which I really love the way it looks because the tattoo favors the left side of the body, whereas the clothing I'm wearing favors the right side of the body, so it covers half of the body and whatnot. I just really love the way that this character looks. Super happy with it. Couldn't be happier with it. Love it. I love the way that it's turned out. While you have the bear summoned, you reach I forget what percentage it is. 75 ultimate. You can then use your ultimate again, which makes the bear attack down here at the bottom for 16,213 physical damage, and then deals more to enemies below 25% health. Not to mention the fact that the bear in general has a swipe that deals 3,195 physical damage, and then sometimes swipes all enemies in front of it, dealing 12,867 damage and stunning them for 2 seconds. So it says sometimes because it seems to actually be pretty random whenever it does that attack. This is my buff, so it gives me all this ice to me. It's the Ice Fortress. See, I'm going to have little petals floating around my hands. This is how you know in your bow, my bow is glowing. This is how you know that you've got your lotus flower up, lotus blossom or whatever the hell it's called. This is your netch, right? It's your bow. And I can't show you the swarm. It's really cool the way the swarm looks. If I had some mud crabs around here, I'd show you. So once that ends, see how it spread to both of them? And now it's spread to them again. And then on the front bar, this is a dual wield ability. I believe it's cloak, blade cloak. Yep, blade cloak, deadly morph, or deadly cloak morph. I don't really, I kind of roleplay that it's not razor blades. It's like, I don't know, wind, fucking. I don't know, piercing winds, we'll call it that. Then your heal, this is only here for the time being. It's mushrooms, soothing spores, conal effect, and it can overheal. That's why you'll see that they now have more health, and therefore I can give them health. Then you've got your rending slashes, which is what my L1 button is. And this is what the shulks look like. Very cool abilities. I really love them. And then you saw the crows, and then the other ability. So that, all this right now happening. Those are my two. Both of them proc at the same time, which is not surprising. Very big uptime, very long uptime, very good uptime. So like I'd say 75-80% uptime, which is great. Just because as a damage dealer, it's going to constantly be, these are constantly going to be going off. It's great. I love them. So it's got a nice Beastmaster Druid feel.